All right, welcome back to Metstro's Analytics. Today we're doing something a little different. We're looking at the starting pitching skills from the Power Rank tournament. A couple weeks ago, we did a little preview on their skills. I just looked at a handful of teams, both pitching and batting. This is a deeper dive into starting pitching skills. Um, and hopefully we'll come back to relief pitchers and batters in the future. I looked at the top 16 teams. So if you made it to, in terms of how they finished, not their power ranking entering the tournament. Um, the way this is laid out, this is what position they are in. So assuming most people put their best starter in the number one spot, whether it's a Sig or Legend, and then the skills. And this is the level here. If it doesn't have uh, a number here, then it's at the max. So Fireballers FP, no level here. That means it's blank. I mean, it's blank, so it means it's at 6. Boss, no level. That means this one's at 8, and that one's at 7. So if it's at a level below the maximum I indicated here, that's reduces work, and it also makes it more apparent how often um, things are less than the maximum level. All right, so let's jump into the summary statistics. We had 16 teams, 80 starting pitchers, 42 of those were legend, 38 of them were SIGs, and 75 of them had a legend skill. Um, if we look at the total, mostly slow starter and control master. I'm surprised control master had that much of a lead over slow starter. But I'm not sure if maybe that's just a function of people landing on it more, or is there anybody that lands on slow starter and says, no, I'm going to keep going. The secondary skills, boss, finesse, dominant pitcher, untouchable, and mess. We'll also see pitching machine stability make appearances. And then there's a setup man. So I guess that one is a target of a blue skill coming up. Somebody did something similar analytics on this on Reddit. Definitely for the first tournament and the second one, and I'm assuming for this one, but um, I wanted to take a little different take on it. He looked at all 64 teams. He just totaled them up. I wanted to break them out into different analytics, um, difference between legends and SIGs, and then also starting pitching position. So something like touch is pretty popular, but what you see, it's not popular amongst the first two, your started pitching 1 or 2. It starts to make an appearance for the 3, 4, 5 starters. Same with Mess to an extent, a little bottom heavy. Um, Same thing with some of the other less desirable legend skills, cooperative pitching and stuff. And you'll see a few more silver skills uh, popping up there. So looking at the first two, you have 11 and 15, definitely making, um, you know, statement there being the best skills. And then, mostly these. So got a few takeaways that I've gotten from looking at this data. So one is if you're a legend, keep going if you see any of these. I would say the only caveat is if you land, you use a premium skill change ticket and you land like cooperative pitching, and maybe this is the case with Absurd. He has cooperative pitching here. He also has finesse and touch. If you landed that with your cooperative pitching, you might have other uses for your um, uh, premium skill change tickets. So it might be worthwhile just to leave that and then work on something else. That because you're not investing anything else. I wouldn't invest greens or blues into anything on a legend beyond slow starter or control master. For SIGs, um, it largely depends on the level. So when I say level, you do your skill changes. It start at 333. Obviously, that's great. Hard to get with a SIG. You might see 322. 322 will end up with your third skill being a level 4. Um, so what I found interesting too was, you can see where people are stopping. Let's look at the less desirable legend skills first. So we're going to look at cooperative, fireballer, or bullpen day. They're only stopping if level 4 or higher. So if you start 322, you get cooperative pitching. It's okay to invest in it. Now, none of these are their number one starters, so keep that in mind. But it's reasonable to invest greens or blues into fireballer, cooperative pitching if you start out, uh, 322 or better. 331, same thing. So you can get to level 4. If you have more desirable control master, slow starter, then you can let that slip to level 3. So we'll see some of that. We even see level 2. Of course, it's his 5th starter. I'm not sure if I would stop there. Definitely 3, you'll see a lot more, and you'll see it in some of their higher ranked pitchers. What I did see that interesting is that if you're at level, you're less than trip 3s, sometimes we'll see the legend skill get knocked down if there's 2 goals, good golds. So these turn blue, you can get that up to level 7 instead of, say, leaving that at level 4 or 5. You get that extra step. You take control master down. So this is something I do not have on, say, mats, where I have control master, boss, touch, and I've left touch at level 4. But we'll see these higher ranked teams tend to sacrifice the legend skill. So I find that kind of interesting. Whereas, the teams that finished, got knocked out of level round of 16. Now, some of it depends on the skill. So a silver skill, obviously you're going to leave that lower. There's no extra bonus and mess. there's not a huge bonus for being at level 7. So obviously with these, I would definitely do that. Here's an instance though where touch is left at level 3 instead of bringing down control master. Finesse pitcher is left at level 4, and touch again here. So it's interesting, whereas some of these teams reduce the legend skill. So I found that interesting. Some of the pairings are kind of interesting as well. Like if for your secondary skill, if you get boss, some skills pair better with others. So boss seems to pair pretty well with everything. I don't have the best luck with boss touch, but seeing this here in multiple instances makes me think I should leave it. Um, Finesse pitcher, you'll see finesse pitcher paired with touch a lot more, or stability, and pitching machine. If you look at pitching machine stability, you'll have those paired with either, for the most part, finesse pitcher, dominant pitcher. You don't see many. You only see one boss and one touch in there. So I found that interesting. All right. So if you get pitching machine or stability on a blue ticket, that might be okay. Going back to here, so one of my other takeaways is legend. You're aiming for those, and on the greens, you're aiming for one of these. You don't stop on touch. So touch is popular, but it's only popular at lower levels. So here's right now takeaways. Um, we touched on that. Oh, I didn't mention my, thought I did. Oh, because I'm hiding rows. That's why. All right. Sorry about that. So yeah, I would continue using greens. Don't stop on, yeah, here we go. Use green until you get to one of boss, finesse, dominant pitcher. Don't stop on touch. And these are out of order. Um, Zig, if it's trip threes and a legend skills paired with 2 golds, perhaps reduce the legend skill. Going to level 8, generally boss is greater than finesse pitcher, which is kind of equal to touch. We touched on that. Trip blues are still okay. Trip 3 blues. We'll look at what people took to level 8 as well. So things not called a legend skill made 5 appearances in the top 16, so 5 out of 80, so it's possible. Either boss, finesse, master touch, finesse, dominant, master touch, or dominant pitcher. So of those 5 skills, you'll see, 3 of them. And that still works for some top skills. So your legend is not your only route. Your legend skill It pretty much is for any legend. So, all right. Second column is if it's not a. Let me take let me take out the ones where it was just blues. This column is what somebody took up to level 8. So we'll look at boss. Boss is always taken up to level 8. There's no instances of boss being down in this third skill and somebody taking up finesse pitcher, dominant pitcher instead. If we look at finesse, um, almost always over dominant pitcher. I think always, obviously over the silver skills. Well, you can't take the silver skill up, but over touch. Touch actually, some people take touch up instead, which I found kind of interesting. Um, so you had Surd gun socks, carnival socks, um, taking finesse pitcher up over touch. On the other hand, some of them took touch over. So if we look at touch, Xanderdew and Furio took touch over finesse. So both of them made it pretty high. Maybe that was a little difference for gun socks and absurd. So, all right. So those are all the takeaways. Let me put this back. So here's all the takeaways. Um, if you want to screenshot it. So I found it interesting. Certainly some mistakes I've made in the past. Hope not to make again in the future. Uh, Tournament's now up to 96 players, so I think I'm like 130 ranked. So hopefully with some favorable greens and blues, I can make the tournament next time. Anyway, happy grinding. Let me know if you have any questions on this or if you have any experience you want to share. Later.